Welcome, essential oil lovers. We are excited for today's discussion. We're going to be talking about skin and issues of the skin and all things skin related. We're going to cover amazingly wide variety of topics. We're going to do things like calluses, acne, diaper rash, cradle cap. The list goes on. So it's going to get a little long, but there is so much information and so much education. This is going to be a great one. So we hope that you share, that you invite your friends, that you anybody who loves essential oils. We'd love to have a lot of discussion going on, and we need people for discussion, so that would be great if you could share. So we're a teaching company, Butterfly Expressions, and we love to teach about essential oils. We love to pick a different topic every 2 weeks to talk about. We try to do one physical thing and one emotional thing every month. And so today is our physical thing. We're going to be talking about all things skin. Anything you can possibly imagine related to the skin, which surprisingly is a lot. Things you wouldn't think about.
Well, Valerie mentioned that it's going to get long. It might, because I want to talk about a few things about skin that aren't skin. The first thing about skin rashes and such things is that they are not caused by the skin.
No.
Why do I say that? It's because, well, there's more than one reason, but we'll stick to just a couple of them. So at first I thought, well, an allergic reaction, if it's an allergic reaction, then it's skin. But even that isn't true. When you have something going on in the skin, you've got a problem in the kidneys. And if it's an allergic reaction, you've probably got a problem in the liver.
Yeah.
And there's just so much going on. You cannot clear a skin rash without clearing up the internal environment first.
So yes, we're going to be talking about skin, but we're going to go so much deeper than that. And this is going to be a very educational video. One thing that we really want to stress is that, if you have friends that you can share this video with, or you can like, comment, share, we really appreciate it. It helps get us out there, and the more people that join this, the better discussion we will have. If you do have questions, please comment them. We will try to address them as they come in, and if it's going to interrupt the flow too much, we'll come back to it. But we do read your comments. We love the comments. We appreciate them. We are going to do this live, like I said, every 2 weeks on Wednesday, every other Wednesday, because it takes us some time to research and make sure that we know what we're talking about.
Interrupting the flow, that's what we do with each other.
That is true. That's what we do. So our next one is actually going to be, it falls the day before Thanksgiving. We're going to keep that one really short, and it's going to be on gratitude and how gratitude affects your health, because it does. And so we're really excited about that one, but it will be considerably shorter than today. Seeing as Thanksgiving and everything coming up that way. So yes, comment, share, and good morning. We're starting to see people saying hi. That's awesome. I love it. If you don't mind, tell us where you're from too, because it's just interesting to see where everybody's at. It's just kind of cool. So let's dive right into skin health.
I want to dive back into kidneys.
Oh, okay.
Some things that I want people to understand, because I think our kidneys are just, I don't know, they're not paid enough attention to. We think of the kidneys as something that removes toxins from our bodies, and that's true. And if they aren't doing it properly, then the skin is used as an eliminative organ.
Yes, it is.
And if that happens, you're going to have rashes, you're going to have hives. Oh, I used to do hives for everything. You're going to have all that kind of thing. But some of the things we don't think about with kidneys is the fact that they control the composition of the blood by what they remove and by what they put back in. A lot of people will tell me in classes and things, I eat so well, and they'll tell me about their diet, but I'm still acidic. I can't balance my pH. Well, that's a kidney factor.
It's a kidney factor.
And pH, being acidic, will affect your skin really bad. It'll either peel away or it'll break out, or you're going to one thing or another. So composition of the blood, what is coming onto your skin from those tiny little capillaries, got left there by the kidney, the composition of your blood is wrong. And that makes kidney, something like the RC formula to clean the blood, the KT to
see, now you're not sticking to essential oils.
Well, there's no way I'm ever going to stick to essential oils.
Just for those of you who don't know, KT and RC are both herbal compositions. They are tinctures.
You'll be lucky if I don't go off on points for holding on.
That's okay too. We'll take education in any form. We are going to talk a lot about essential oils, but those two are tinctures, and we are going to talk about them a little bit later on.
Yes, we are. Forgot about that. Yes, we are including.
Yes, we are. So skin health is probably, when somebody calls us up and says, I've got a question for you, skin is our least favorite.
Oh, anybody who's ever been in one of my classes heard me cuss about skin. I hate a rash. Give me something major.
Anything else, please?
Every time. And I'm not going to try to take too much time here, but from a homeopathic healing point of view, there's a reason for that. The body heals no matter what modality you're using.
Yes.
It heals from the inside out. It's going to pay closer attention to the heart and the kidneys and the lungs, your vital organs. And the last thing it's going to be concerned with is whether or not you break out in hives, or whether or not you have a skin rash. And the other problem is that when the body gets that done, well, the next rule is that it's going to heal from the most recent thing back.
Yep.
Well, skin might be the most recent because the body tried to deal with all the internal stuff first. And so you might get some relief on your skin stuff pretty early on.
Especially if it's something that you've only had, I just broke out in hives 20 minutes ago, or sometimes you can deal with those a lot faster than I've had eczema for 5 years. I hate that.
But it'll be partial relief, and it'll turn around and slap you again the next time you get into the same item that caused it. It's not cure, it's palliation.
Almost all skin things are going to require a deeper level of
inside cleansing
than we think about, because the skin just seems so easy, but it really isn't.
The last piece of that homeopathic theory is you heal from the top down.
Yes.
So please don't call me with a rash on your feet.
So athlete's foot you would think would be one of her least favorites, but it's actually not. Athlete's foot, because it's often, I've had athlete's foot for a couple of days.
It's
and
a
so you can
bacteria
typically turn that
you
one
got
around.
recently, and it can be dealt with. Yes.
Athlete's foot's actually one of my favorites because of how fast it works and how expensive the medicine is at the store. People are just blown away with how quick this little $10 oil will solve it. And they have it for the next 30, 40 times that one of their kids gets it, and it works for so many other things. It's not just I went to the store once to get something for athlete's foot because I was away from home and I didn't have access to what I knew worked. I was blown away with how expensive it was, and all the disclaimers for if this doesn't work after so many days, go see a doctor. And I'm like,
and then you look up the side effects and get real.
Yeah, and then I really just wanted my bottle of no more. But anyway, we'll get to that.
Maybe, who knows?
Maybe we're having way too much fun. So where do you want to start, Mom? What?
I don't know. Roll up my notes.
Roll up your notes. Well, we were going to talk about eczema and psoriasis and the difference between the two. We've had a debate. See, there's lots of different ways to say eczema. So we actually pulled up YouTube, and it doesn't agree with itself either. So we're going to call it eczema.
Any way we wanted to was kind of what they told us.
So eczema and psoriasis. Oh,
well, I don't know. You want me to talk about the difference between the two?
Yes.
Well, the major difference in my mind, and maybe I'm accurate, maybe I'm not, but psoriasis is a lot deeper. The skin is thicker, it's scalier, it's more calloused. And what you have going on, in my experience, is an autoimmune disorder. The body is creating skin cells faster than normal and not sloughing them off as fast as normal. It's not recognizing dead skin as something that needs to be sloughed off.
You've got a bad cell that's making a copy of a bad cell, making a copy of a bad cell, making a copy of a bad cell. We've actually talked about autoimmune disorders in one of our blog spots called I know we've covered autoimmune. You can go on the blog, which is butterflyexpressions.net, and you can search autoimmune, and it will pull up a lot more information with that. Some of the oils that have brought some relief to that would be lavender. Lavender's a great one, especially with water in a spray.
I hope people realize that allergies are an autoimmune disorder. It's the body being confused as to what is harmful and what is not. And the difference to me between eczema and psoriasis is that autoimmune component. Eczema is generally just the body trying to detox using the skin as an organ.
Meaning that
and while it can itch and burn and sting, it's pretty nasty. Psoriasis, for the people I've worked with, I've never been there,
thankfully,
seems to have, one woman described it to me as being eaten alive by fire ants. There's a burny quality to the itch that isn't there with eczema.
Terry says that we should pronounce it eczema, which was one of the options, actually. Yeah, I
asked Valerie this morning to get the computer to pronounce it to us, and it pronounced it eczema. Kept telling us anything went. So all right, just for you, I'll say eczema. Works for me.
Doesn't matter to me. I think I switched on the daily basis. So. Hey,
I told her I'd never known how to pronounce that. Look it up for me. So.
A comment says, I'm dealing with an autoimmune that is affecting my eye iris.
Ooh.
Not a fun one.
Well, I would start autoimmune. I wouldn't worry too much about the eye except for making it feel better.
Focus autoimmune.
Focus
So
on the
definitely
autoimmune
look up that
endo
blog.
relief.
When we're done with this live, shoot me a message if you were unable to find the information, because I really want you to read that. Oh, retina. Okay, sorry, my retina. Even less
We don't
fun.
want to talk about retinas. My husband just did a detached total one from a car accident he was in. We're not having
That
any
was
fun
not any fun at all, and yeah, required a surgery to fix. So a lot of
one of him and I are either had in a married life.
Used oils on it though to help it heal and help it detach. I know right here you were putting, is it heliochrysum and undone
heliochrysum, yeah.
Yeah, and so those types of things. But honestly, you do not want your retina to detach, and you need to follow.
If it's an autoimmune
whatever
thing,
the doctor
you need
says,
to deal with
with
the
it.
autoimmune condition underneath it.
Absolutely. So
Absolutely.
let's make sure that we get you that information after this is over. If you can't find it, let me know, because I'll send that over.
There was a day in my life I was allergic to nearly everything, and my body thought my whole self was not nice.
No, autoimmune disorders are not fun.
Don't do autoimmune.
Okay, skin, allergy related. We kind of covered that a little bit, and we kind of talked about liver in your labors. So actually doing a liver cleanse, if you're doing an allergy type thing, and this does play a little bit into the autoimmune as well, you're cleansing the liver, your best oils for that would be your Revitalize and Livin. That's the two blends that are, they're butterfly blends. So if you use a different brand, you know what, we love you to use Butterfly. We're big Butterfly supporters, but if you're using a different brand and you already have a major stock of something else, shoot me an email. I will tell you what
is comparable
that you may already have. You don't
oils are too expensive to waste.
We just really want to teach people how to use oils, and hopefully you'll use Butterfly ones, but if you don't, we still love you.
So let's talk a minute. I know I'm going to wander right off the essential oil thing. Your reset kit that we keep forgetting that you renamed it that. It is a group of 4 tinctures
that cover the major body organs.
Well, it's liver and kidney, and then it's a blood cleanser
and colon
and a colon cleanser. There's some suggestions of a couple of homeopathics if it's written the way I wrote it 20 years ago.
It is, and in fact, they've actually redone that kit now. I don't know if I don't know if ever told you this. They have a Reset Plus kit, which includes the homeopathics, the clay foot soaks, and 2 oils. I think it's IQ and Crystal Clear in case it's a brain type of a thing. So just the 4 basic tinctures, they're not very much. I think you're looking at maybe $25 or less. And then we've written a chapter in the Green Book, if you're familiar with that, about how to do a cleanse right and how to not make yourself sick while you're cleansing. That article is also available for free. I'm going to have to think about this. It's on butterflyexpressions.org under information, and it's under the herbal section. So once you go to expressions.org, it's broken down by essential oils, herbs, and then it's also got a section for homeopathics or blessed waters. And then below that is taken apart by body system and just different health matters. If we've ever covered it, so when this skin thing is done, it will go in there. So that if we've ever talked about it, there's what we said about it.
The beauty of this particular cleanse program is that each organ system is separate. So when you dump the liver too fast and you're getting that headache right in the middle of your forehead, you can back off on the liver cleanse and support the kidney. You can start with just the colon and the kidney stuff and then add the liver stuff. I mean, Dr. Christopher, those of you who are as old as me know who he is, said, if you made yourself sick doing a cleanse, you weren't doing it right. And I believe that. This whole idea of how many times I nearly killed my husband in the early days with the cleansing, he's absolutely right. It should be easy. And by putting these tinctures in separate things instead of just one big lump, you can adjust and play with that, and you can build a system support the kidney till it can handle what you're going to dump from the colon and the liver.
Yeah, and when you start to feel sick, you can go, is it because I'm overdoing this system or that system? It's really in depth, which is why we can't really cover it in a live about skin, but it's there and it's free. And if you want to look it up, if you have questions, shoot us an email. We like to hear from people. Okay. Endocrine system and strengthening the endocrine system.
Allergies, like I said, it's an autoimmune disorder, and that's an endocrine situation. So that's what you have to do. You have to start. I mean, I'm teaching a class yesterday on just what I'm not going to say that word, pineal gland, and what the pituitary is responsible for. You have to get your endocrine system up and running for the body to recognize what is good for it and what is not.
A lot of times with rashes and different type things, hitting the endocrine system will actually give you faster relief than anything else. So endo relief is the #1 endocrine system. I like to put it right here and rub it down my neck. So I'll put it in a little carrier oil and just 1 or 2 drops, rub it down here. I'll put it on right here. And then I will put it on my
kidneys. In the shower.
because your adrenal glands are right on top of your kidneys, and that seems to bring me the most relief. It also helps my thyroid, gives me more energy, and the relief is not a great smelling oil, but it's definitely one.
Well, and it got worse when we added dill to it.
Yeah, but dill's so good at balancing the pancreas that it was needed. I don't know.
I didn't blend in the old days for aroma. I blended for health, and they tweak on them for me now to make them smell better. But it's about all.
That one's never going to smell wonderful. I don't think it's that bad. We have had people who just absolutely hate it, but I don't think it's that bad. So Eternity improves the uptake of nutrients, and it's also a really wonderful emotional oil. So that one, if maybe your allergies have a nutritional stem, would be one that you would definitely want to diffuse. You can wear it on your wrists. You can rub it on, but that is such a beautiful one to diffuse.
Eternity is a beautiful smelling oil.
It does. Okay, and then of course, if you're trying to uptake nutrients, you need to be eating the rainbow. You need to eat all colors of vegetables and fruits and get the minerals that you need. You may even want to supplement minerals.
Minerals is one thing I do supplement. I don't take a lot of things other than my herbals that I
think
normally.
The minerals are all on sale this month too.
That's what somebody told me in class
I think they
yesterday.
are. I do believe that's. I mean, if you're watching this 6 months from now, that won't be true. But today, I do believe they're on sale.
November what? I don't even know what day it is.
All right. So she said there were 2 reasons that she hated working with the skin stuff.
I think we covered them.
You covered them both.
Inside
so the first
out,
one,
top to bottom. Inside was that the skin's being used for an eliminative organ, and the second one is just the direction in which the body heals.
It's the last thing to heal.
Inside out and top to bottom. So, yeah.
All right. If you improve your nutrition, you provide the body with the assistance it needs to heal itself. And our bodies are they heal so fast when they have what they need to do it. So, all right, let's start talking about specific things.
Look what we put there first. Okay.
So the first one we decided to take on, this one's lovely. Well, we already kind of did psoriasis and eczema.
We kind of did, yes.
And those are our absolute, not
so what kind of
ones.
things before we move on from those? If you're going to put an oil topically on something like eczema and psoriasis,
I like lavender because it doesn't hurt.
I don't know that there's anything that will ever beat lavender for that.
Yep.
Heliochrysum, they claims more healing, but the problem isn't that you want that stuff to peel away. Problem is that if you use a carrier oil, you may actually clog the pores more. You may actually stimulate that skin to cling there, and you really want it to peel off.
I think there's 6 as lavender and heliochrysum, and lavender is so much cheaper. I would grab lavender and I would use it with water in a spray bottle.
Yeah, you don't want to clog, but bear in mind with psoriasis, you got to solve the inside problem. What you're doing outside, all you're doing is a little bit of relief for today while the whole situation gets worse.
Yep. So the next one we decided to take on, this one's going to be great fun, is acne.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every young teenager who's been drug here by his mother for an answer to his acne, that would be way fun. And oh, how discouraged they are when you tell them that it's going to take more than 1 foot zone, that they've got to give up their soda pop, that they've got to stop living on potato chips and candy.
And keep track of the amount of water that they drink. So often acne is the fact that they're not giving the kidneys what they need to cleanse.
They're just not into a whole lifestyle change in front of their friends. But it really is the only way. Yeah, occasionally you'll run across somebody who just doesn't wash his face properly, or something
that it's a hygiene thing,
but
it typically isn't.
Thing, but
a lot of times acne actually has emotional drivers. and
the emotional drivers behind acne, you're going to love it. It's lack of self-confidence, feeling inept in social situations, and it's the kind of inept like, oh, I'm showing all this confidence, and then I get into the situation, I don't know how to behave, and I make a fool of myself,
and I'm nervous,
and my skin erupts. It's like
so. You can look up, if you can figure out the specific emotion on a case-by-case basis, this person has a lack of self-confidence, this person gets nervous when they're in front of a group, what it is that's triggering it, you can actually look that up on the same website, butterflyexpressions.net, .org. It's .org. And then under information, there's a document called Essential Oils and Emotions, and they're alphabetized. So you could look it up. Maybe an oil that might help him with courage or with self-confidence. And some of my favorite ones, we're going to cover them again in 2 weeks because they're the same ones for gratitude. They're Grateful Heart and their Heart Song. I like Whispering Hope. That is one that has helped a lot of teenagers. Whispering Hope would probably be one of the first ones I would want to read about and go, yeah, that's what my child needs.
So I don't know what else to do with that. Valerie told me years ago that I had to stop creating new blends, but she's in a different place.
I've grown up. I don't say that anymore.
I think there was nearly 50 then, and there's more than 100 now, and they're still at it.
Now.
So they keep finding new things to do with new things.
I love it when a new oil is born.
It's just way fun.
And it is interesting. Sometimes they're born in a short amount of time, and sometimes it is a good year. The blend is needed, but
and other times they just write themselves across your forehead when you sit down in the oil blending room.
Yep. Their Butterfly has introduced 2 new blends. They've introduced one and they're working on the second one. It actually comes out, I believe, next Monday. And the difference in the 2 blends and the difference in the way that they came about, it is interesting to be able to be that close.
One is gallbladder liver, isn't it?
One is gallbladder liver and the other one is a lung blend. So they're interesting. And I believe you can still go on the Facebook page and put in a name and say
name it.
what you want it to be named. And if your name is picked, you'll get a free bottle. So that they're really excited, and I like that program they're doing. Okay. So
where are we going from acne?
From acne, we are going to talk.
All I know is that if your child has acne, build their self-confidence. That's way more important than nagging them to wash their face.
Yep, you'll get a lot farther with it. I mean, you might want to kill the bacteria on the face, and if you're gonna use essential oils to help with acne and to help with the hygiene of it,
pick one that'll build their confidence.
Go soft though. Ageless is a good one. It has frankincense in it, and
it'll heal the skin.
It will heal the skin
the bacteria
and deal with the bacteria. And frankincense is an amazing oil for difficult.
If you think it's a bacterial issue, Niaouli, a form of tea tree that I don't like tea tree, it stinks. Yeah. It's a form of tea tree that smells better, and I think it's stronger. I think it works better than tea tree. So,
but again, you're putting them in water. You're not putting them in a carrier oil. Ageless can actually be used as a lotion, it's a lightweight lotion that it won't clog the pores, and it would be a good way to use it. But just a spray that they can spray on and then wash off is.
If you need an astringent because the skin's too oily.
Explain that word, astringent.
Astringent means it dries it out.
Yeah, there we go.
So if the skin is too oily, of course, that's an internal thing too.
Yes, it is.
To deal with that. But for a little Band-Aid, grapefruit or lemongrass are very nice and astringent.
I love the smell of lemongrass, but again, in water.
Yeah, so, you don't be adding oil to an oily skin.
So you say that oily skin is it's an indication that something internal needs to be dealt with. What would you say?
They're going to say what? I'm going to pick the gallbladder. And teenagers don't realize, because the gallbladder can be really sick for a long time before it starts throwing gallstones. And I tell teenage girls that if you got a gallbladder that's bad, you're going to produce oil and fat. You're going to have oily skin and fat cells.
You're going to gain weight.
You're going to gain weight. So if you have no better reason to keep your gallbladder going, I'm excited about this new gallbladder blend.
It is an awesome one. And they named it?
Emerge? No. I don't know.
That's what they're thinking about for the other one, but I don't think
I have a hard time keeping up.
Wow, that's going to throw me.
Well, you'll remember.
It starts with an E. It is Emerge. It is. I think I know. The other name that they're considering, I don't know that a decision's been reached, but it starts with an E as well. So they're trying to confuse me.
They're trying to confuse you. That's no longer my problem.
It is Emerge. Nice. And I think that the reason they went with Emerge is because of the emotional issues that it helps with as far as liver and gallbladder. Liver is anger, and gallbladder. Test time, Mom.
Gallbladder is more intense. It's more not resentment so much, because that's kidney, but it's that intent. It's anger that you bottle up, but it's anger that erupts from time to time,
which would make sense.
Or
with
just
acne
turns into hard lumps.
Acne is an eruption, so that makes
So
why did I think of that?
Gallbladder. I just, you have a hard time convincing some skinny little teenager that her gallbladder is an issue, but it probably is. But if I tell her what this is going to mean is by the time you hit college, you're going to be fighting weight, they can relate to that because they might have watched an older sister do it.
Do
And they can relate to that. And that's the best way to clear acne is to.
So any of the oils we can talk about, the astringents, the bacteria cleansers, are just ones to help improve overall skin health. You can just put them in clear water. You can sponge them on, or you can just get a spray and then wipe it off with a cotton ball.
Do check your
don't.
teenagers. How many times have I had a teenager use the same cotton ball for a week?
Totally.
Here we are fighting a bacteria on his skin. Now, mostly the essential oil kills the bacteria in the little cotton ball. But still, cotton balls aren't that expensive.
They need to be replaced occasionally.
Like
daily.
every time they use it, or 3 or 4 times per face,
And don't use a carrier oil. If the skin is dry and they feel like they need a lotion of some sort, get a lightweight, non-chemical one. Ageless would be my choice, but don't use a heavy carrier oil. Okay, so
my husband told me years ago, because he used to always run around with things for my dry lips and dry skin and lotions and all kinds of things, and he would say, "Hun, dry skin, you shouldn't need that if you're healthy inside."
What's causing the dry skin?
And I would say, "Sweetie, if I was healthy inside, I wouldn't be allergic to everything, including you." It's like,
So for dry skin,
and
what do
he
you
was
think?
Absolutely right. When I cleaned up the internal stuff, the allergies went away, the dry skin went away.
Which organ do you think causes dry skin when it's in trouble? Kidney,
totally. Well, maybe not totally, but 90%.
90%. So
kidney regulates the water balance in the body.
Salt also regulates the water balance in the body.
Magnesium, potassium.
And I used to have horribly dry skin. I hadn't thought about it, but about 6 months ago, well, it's been longer. It's been about a year now. I discovered that I'm extremely salt deficient, and I went after that.
You can't believe how much salt you drink.
You have to be careful with that one, though, because if you take too much salt without putting enough potassium in, you can cause more damage than you do good. And so I've been building my salt intake slowly with potassium, and I don't have dry skin anymore. So I hadn't thought about that as a side effect of it. But
for those of you that are out there having tizzy fits that we just said, salt, that is
why,
in my opinion, that is one of the worst things that the medical world ever did to pregnant women, was tell them to limit their salt.
But if you're not getting enough fruits and vegetables, salt can be scary because
you're not getting enough potassium. And
the body can't eliminate salt without potassium. And so if you take in a whole bunch of salt and the body needs to eliminate it without potassium, it can't. You're going to get swelling feet, and you're going to get. So it's important. You have to balance the two. What
I used to think for pregnant women who had that, borderline going into trouble with their, was you eliminated the nitrates, you eliminated bacon, you eliminated lunch meat, and increased their salt and potassium, and the problem went away.
It made a huge difference for me with this last pregnancy. My baby's 4 months old, and she's absolutely adorable.
She is.
And it made a huge difference for me getting my salt and potassium up, and I will forever love the woman who told me that, because I doubted her at first. My mind went, not salt, I'm pregnant, but I tried it because I was desperate, and it was like turning on a light.
This was, we have a sweet little Aunt Renee who's mentally retired, 80 some odd, almost 90 now. Every day when we give her lunch, she'll tell me, I leave salt alone. I leave salt alone. Such a push there was to eliminate salt.
She remembers.
And I suppose a really refined, nasty white salt. Get a decent one. Get a good sea salt. Get that pink Himalayan.
See, now we're clear
salt.
off the topic of skin. But if you have dry skin, it's the answer. It seems so strange, but the skin is always an underlying thing. So we took a look at eczema, we took a look at psoriasis, and we took a look at acne.
So how do you tell the difference? We talked about the thickness of the skin. One thing that's a clue for me, and I'm a homeopathic person, so I don't care about the name of a disease anyway. I just want to know what makes it go away.
That's true.
But it seems like eczema is more in the folds of the skin, whereas psoriasis will show up on the elbows, on flat places, on things like that. So that might be a clue if you happen to care which one it is.
There's an exception to every rule, though. So
well, and with this, as near as I can tell, there's more exceptions than there are ones that fit the rules.
Yes.
I don't care about the name. I just want it to go away. And if I think it's autoimmune, I'm going to start there because I really love life without allergies. That's just really fine.
Now, there are carrier oils that are better for the skin than other carrier oils. So if you are not fighting an acne type, say you're fighting a type of a rash, and I'm leery to use a carrier oil even on a rash until I can eliminate.
That might be a bacteria.
Well, a bacteria, not so much, but a fungus. You
Ooh,
don't,
yes.
a carrier will feed a fungus so fast it's not funny. And so I am hesitant to use a carrier oil at all. But once I have ruled out a fungus and I'm dealing with dry skin, I will reach for a carrier oil. And there are carrier oils that are better than others. Some of our favorites are Tamanu. And Tamanu is an interesting one. It's gritty. If you've ever done like a microdermabrasion or type of a thing on your skin to peel off dead skin, that's kind of what Tamanu is like. It's not a real good moisturizer, but it's a great one like if you're dealing with scarring, because it's going to take that top layer of dead skin off and allow the next one to grow and heal. So Tamanu is great, but it is not a daily moisturizer. Argan is another good one. And argan is heavy. It is a very, very heavy carrier. But as far as really dry skin, really dry cracked feet, things like that, I love it.
Yeah, I do too for a cracked skin. Avocado. I don't know much about avocado oil, except
It's lighter.
I was allergic to avocados when I was younger, and now that I'm not, I tend to eat a lot of the things that I
But avocados are
Avocado oil
interesting.
is one
They
of them.
contain some really essential fatty acids that feed, and anything you put on your skin is going to be
It's going to
absorbed.
absorb
It's
into the
gonna
body.
it's gonna feed brain cells. It's gonna do some amazing things besides nourishing and healing the skin. It's gonna increase elasticity. Avocado is an amazing carrier oil, and it's not a terribly heavy one.
And
So-
calendula is a nice
Yeah.
light little one, and it's got to be one of the best skin oils I've ever seen.
Yep.
Calendula just heals the skin. So with or without an added essential oil.
Yeah. So psoriasis and eczema, you're never going to get anywhere with essential oils unless you clean from the outside, inside out. But there are some that are really great ones to use on
Buy you
it.
some relief in the meantime.
So
You're not
if you're-
scratching yourself bloody at church.
If you're fighting eczema and psoriasis, take a look at cistus. Juniper berry, which is one of my favorite oils.
Oh, really?
I love the smell of it. If I walk past a juniper plant and it's got berries on it, I'll take them and just. In fact, I've got some in my car right now because I found them at the store. I was waiting for my husband at Harbor Freight, and there's a juniper tree outside Harbor Freight. Anyway,
I had no idea.
yes, I love just the little smell of juniper berries. If you look at our YouTube channel, it's actually the background is a
It's
juniper.
a juniper tree. Huh?
Because that I love it. Anyway, carrot seed is another one, but this one is it's very strong. Don't use it if you're
Makes me
pregnant.
wonder what your
Dilute
kidneys
well.
are doing if you have a love
Mhm.
affair with juniper.
I can tell you what
Sorry.
my kidneys are doing. Sorry, guys. I do. I like juniper.
Well, you kick it in here.
Yeah. Valley is another good one for psoriasis and eczema. I would put it in water.
Valley, it was actually created to heal my husband's skin after his serious burns.
Yep. It's a
It,
good one for scarring.
it's an amazing oil
named
for
after me.
skin regeneration. Your dad's name's Val too.
Okay. Fine.
Baby Me is just it's a skin oil.
It
You
is.
Use it for all kinds of things like stretch marks.
And it's so mild it can be used on babies. In fact, we're gonna talk about it with our next two skin things, which are rashes, diaper rashes and cradle cap. And I have lots and lots of experience with both of these because I have just had my sixth baby. This baby came with her own set of interesting skin issues. She was born 9 pounds, 15 ounces and fat rolls right here like I had never seen on a baby. And you can wash it 3-4 times a day. It just always looked red and irritated. And so I started taking baby powder, and every time I changed her butt, I'd put baby powder in there, and it just got worse and it just got worse. And one day I just kind of did the oh duh. And I'm like, why are you using baby powder and water? Why are you not using essential oils? And so I sat down and I thought, well, baby me. And so I started putting it on her little folds and she had little folds in her legs too. She's a very chunky baby. And within 4 hours, it was night and day difference. She looked so much better. And so it just became part of my routine. Once a day, she gets baby me on it, whether she needs it or not. Baby me is the way babies should smell. Somebody handed me a baby the other day, and she smelled like it was a boy. He smelled like baby lotion. And I thought, I like that. That's a lovely smell, but it doesn't smell like a baby to me. Babies smell like baby me.
Pregnant women smell like baby meal to me.
Yes,
'cause I
they
sniff their
should
little
on the
bellies
stretch
with
marks.
it.
So all of my kids have done horrible, horrible cradle cap. And I've fought it and fought it and fought it. And baby me always clears it up in the end. But I don't know why. It just takes me a while to remember that. So with this baby, I'm putting it on her every day. And she hasn't ever done cradle cap. She had the littlest, teeniest, tiny speck of it one day. And I thought, well, why don't I just put a little more carrier oil in my hand, put it on her head, her neck, and then her butt, and just work in a different order. I was remembering, I'd get it on her butt, and then I'd remember, like, oh, I don't want to put it on her head now. And so I got in the habit of head, shoulders, knees, and toes, and just work your way down. And she has never done it. She's 4.5 months old, and she's starting to get a little bit more hair. They say that they don't get any more hair till after 4 months, and what they do have falls out. That is not true, but she's starting to grow more hair just past that 4 months. So there's got to be something to that. But she is doing wonderful with the avoiding cradle cap.
My kids did cradle cap and some did not, and I never did figure out
all
what
of
the
mine
difference
have. She's
was.
going to be my first one that didn't. So
Fun.
such is life. Yes.
Okay, where are we going from here?
So after we've now covered diaper, rash, and cradle cap, and those are two skin instances where I do immediately reach for care. Water is not good enough. I want the oil to keep it on there longer, and I typically use coconut just because it's everywhere throughout my house. I don't have to go looking for it.
Part of the reason to use oil on cradle cap is to soften the scaly stuff, so that you can take a real soft brush and brush it away. I mean, you're using it. See, same thing with psoriasis. If you decide you want to peel some of those scales away, soaking it with a carrier oil
is going to be helpful.
Is going to help you do that. It's going to help the body shed that skin. That's simply a call you have to make according to the rash you have. And a soft toothbrush.
I used to do that with my lens. Her hair is going to get long enough that I'm not going to want to put a little bit of oil over her head on a daily basis, and so I'm probably going to end up putting it in a spray bottle and just to keep it on there till she's past this baby stage of when I don't know why they do cradle cap. I've never figured that one out, but I do know it works for it. Now, so that the next one is also hair related. It's dandruff.
Ooh, I hate dandruff.
And dandruff is interesting. And there is something going on lately in the world. Something has shifted, something has changed, because what used to work for dandruff doesn't anymore. And I saw this so many times, and I had a couple people that were really frustrated because they were willing to try the oils, but they were not working. And I finally just says, forget. We had an oil called Delicate that people would add to their shampoo. Works great. Tea tree is another good one. Works on dandruff like nothing else. But 3 or 4 people, and it just wasn't touching it. And they've tried everything. They tried everything the doctor said. They tried everything that anybody and will tell them, and nothing touches it. And No More is not the best smelling oil, and it is known to kill fungus. So that seemed like such a strange thing. And the first couple of people, I didn't want to tell them you've got a fungus on your head, and so I would just use this oil. Don't look it up. Just try it, and I'll send it to you, a little sample. Just tell me if it works. And amazed. And we've seen the same thing on a horse. I don't understand it. I don't think that what I'm seeing, the pictures that they sent me, I don't think it's actually a fungus. Why the No More is working when the tea tree and the Delicate do not, I do not know. But I would try Delicate first.
The books to see what you got in that No More.
I don't know. I honestly, I don't understand it yet. But the Delicate smells better. I would start there. And then if it didn't work, I'd be like, okay, I'm one of those people with whatever this other thing is going on. It's crusty. It's not like normal dandruff where you get little white specks on your shirt. They're chunks. So maybe it is a fungus. I just don't. I hope not.
One thing my mother taught me was that when you wash your hair, you actually use your fingernails to scratch your scalp every inch. And I really think that's probably something we should be teaching our children.
It could be.
If you allow that dead skin to build up, it's going to create you grief in the end.
I've been using frankincense in my hair, though, to keep it from falling out. And I'm doing some other things internally. I don't think that my hair falling out can be fixed entirely with oils. It's got a hormonal driver to it, and it's got a lack of nutrients absorbing. I got a few things going on there. But the frankincense, after I wash my hair, that I can feel it like increasing the oxygen to my scalp, and it's like a pleasant tingle for a few minutes. And I've gotten to where I keep it in a spray bottle just so I want to make sure I'm getting lots of oxygen up there. And I like that. And I haven't. That's another great one for
when you're dealing with
hair,
dandruff,
skin.
You got to realize that the oils, whatever you're going to do, is going to slough that dead, nasty skin off. It's probably going to get worse on your shoulders before
Just
it gets better on your head.
Yep.
It's going to do that. So
that's the turnaround. Okay, so if there's some type of a bug involved and on your skin, in your hair, I would start with Delicate, then I would take No More. Niuli is another good one to try for that, and again, it smells better than No More. Most things smell better than No More, but it kills it.
Vetiver would be the exception.
No More is also the one that you would use for athlete's foot. Athlete's foot is a fungus, and so you would put a couple of drops in a bucket of water and stick your feet in it a couple of times a day until a couple of days after there was no more pain and no more. I've seen athlete's foot to the point where it is huge open cracks and bleeding, and you can get the pain to go away within just a day or two, and it takes a week or so for the body to heal over. And a lot of times it'll heal over and encase that, and then it opens up
Just
again.
open
So
up
I
again.
keep doing it way past when it stops hurting, just because it's not hard. It's my 5 minutes at the end of the day while I read a book and I've got my feet in the
Please
tub.
pay attention to what she said. Add it to water and soak your feet.
No carrier oils with athlete's
Well,
foot.
even putting it on straight for either athlete's foot or that foot toenail fungus thing, water will pull the oil deeper in underneath the nail. It'll take it places. If there's scabs and scalies, it'll pull the oil underneath them. You will get cure, not just temporary relief. And let's go another round here worse in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's true. That's the scary thing with athlete's foot is if you almost get rid of it, when it comes back, it will be a new strain that has mutated. And it will be harder to beat the second time. No more will still do it.
The scary thing about athlete's foot is when you clear it up, they go back down to the shower at the school.
Well, or they wear the same shoes that they wore last week without socks. So in my house, somebody does athlete's foot.
Out the inside of
we
the
spray
shoe.
Everybody's shoes, and we add no more to the laundry for a day or two to make sure that all the socks it's getting killed.
Spray the inside of your showers. Just
you're gonna do it again.
Kill the thing where it lives.
Yep.
So you don't have to go round 2 and 3 and 4.
That's right. So the next skin thing, there are so many that we want to talk about, is regeneration. So scarring from just about anything, or even before it gets to a scar. You've cut your skin open. You've got a big owie going on.
Scraped it on the
highway
when you wrecked your motorcycle.
Yeah, we're going to rebuilding and tissue regeneration. We talked about this a little bit. Valley is the #1, our absolute favorite for that. Another one would be Undone. And that Undone I like better when it is a long-term scar. I had a hysterectomy, or I had this or whatever 20 years ago, and I just want to get rid of the scar.
Baby Me is my
Baby
favorite.
Me is and I love the smell of Baby Me.
Yeah, I've seen Baby Me do amazing things with stretch marks.
Heliochrysum is great. Heliochrysum is a little bit pricey, and some of the blends have it in it. So I
haven't paid attention lately because I don't have to do that. But there are 2 kinds of heliochrysum.
There are.
Price closer, or is the one still way more expensive?
They are not close at all. Augustifolium is way, way, way cheaper. In fact, it's even in the realm of affordable. I don't know the prices off the top of my head, but it's not a ton more than a bottle of frankincense. They're right about the 6s. However, Italicum smells a ton better. If you have used heliochrysum and you want a heliochrysum smell, you want Italicum, but you're going to pay for about 4 times more.
And I don't really think you're going to get.
They are 6s.
I can't see any difference in the healing. I've always used the Augustifolia.
I have alternated back and forth the last few years to see, and there's therapeutically they are 6s.
But an Italicum heliochrysum has such a mild. It's an amazing aroma.
If I had a cut right here or right under my nose, I might be worth. But if I'm putting it on my leg or whatever and putting a pair of pants on over the top, I go with the cheaper one, but that's just me.
I would too. Frankincense is my favorite for any kind of skin healing stuff.
Yes. So. And a lot of times, like if you're dealing with an open wound, you're going to be putting it in a salve, miracle salve being our favorite, and putting it on it. But if it's over and done, you're dealing with a scar that's been there for who knows how long, you can put it in a carrier oil. The heavier, more the skin, the carriers we talked about, your calendula.
Vitamin E, straight vitamin E oil is the best carrier for healing a scar.
Yes, it is.
Far and away.
I wouldn't put it on my face, however, because it's just too heavy and you will get clogged pores.
I could do it because I have dry skin and you have.
That's true. I don't have dry skin anymore. It's very nice.
I love the stuff. Sandalwood is my personal all-time favorite for any kind of tissue regeneration. But then sandalwood's my favorite for most things.
Sandalwood is your favorite thing. About Face is a blend that contains several different forms of frankincense, as well as a cousin.
3 frankincenses and a cousin called Palo Santo,
which is available in wood form, and you can burn it in your office. I love Palo Santo. Oh, love the smell of Palo Santo.
If you love sandalwood, but it's too pricey, rosewood is an excellent second choice. Hinoki, Hallwood.
Similar.
Okay,
we mentioned Undone a little bit. Undone contains vetiver, which is a nerve rebuilder.
To make anything smell bad.
Then it's not a great smelling wood. Undone actually doesn't smell too bad, in spite of the fact that it has vetiver in it. But it is a great one for rebuilding nerves. So if you've got numbness underneath the
whoever asked that thing about her eye a little while ago.
Oh yeah,
Undone up around the eye.
Undone up around the eye would help with the nerves and keep them. Yeah, that would be a great one. Hopefully she's still listening.
Excellent.
So, all right, Cherish.
Oh my, jasmine. Yeah. My husband, we got in a new oil years ago, and it was called osmanthus. And if you've never smelled
Wonderful.
osmanthus, you've missed one of life's greater
It's one of those
pleasures.
things you need to smell but not use because it's too pricey.
I had a little bottle in my purse, and some sweet little neighbor's child opened it and spilled it on my purse. Oh, I love that. The whole
That
purse
purse
was leather.
was
It smelled like osmanthus for a year.
Forever.
But it's a very pricey oil. And my
It
husband
is.
told me I had to find a blend. I had to blend it. I had to tame this down so people could afford it. So I tamed it down with jasmine, which didn't help.
Which is
the
not cheaper
price.
either. This was, cherish is definitely cheaper than osmanthus.
Oh,
and smells good.
it wanted jasmine so bad.
The nice thing about cherish is it's not typically one that you put on. So you buy a little sample of cherish or you buy a little bottle of cherish and you're mostly just going to be smelling
Take
it.
the lid off and smell it once in a while. Put one drop on a cotton ball.
It is amazing.
It'll last forever. I've had a sample bottle of cherish in my purse for 3 years now,
If
and
it's
I've never worked my way through the tiny little thing.
if it's within the budget, it is an amazing one for emotions, which would make it absolutely wonderful for washing the skin with acne. But it isn't a cheap one. You are going to dilute it with water, so you're going to get 150 applications out of that little bottle, but definitely not the cheapest thing in the world. Okay,
Oh, but I love osmanthus.
but it smells good. If you ever come up and see us, we like people to come up and take tours. That we'll
You
have.
can smell it.
If we
here.
can swing it, we'll tour. You can tour both the expressions and the express facility, so both the teaching side as well as the actual facility, and you can see where the oils are filled. And come up and take a tour and smell cherish, smell osmanthus, smell oils. Come party with us. It'll be fun. So
blisters.
blisters.
Handle that one.
You want me to?
Sure.
Lavender, chamomile.
I was going to say, smell it plus if it's nasty enough.
A little bit of
Simplicity if it's
moleskin
really
and
nasty.
put the oils on there to get it healing, and then moleskin to keep it from getting worse. I love moleskin. I'm a big fan.
Really?
Yep.
I don't even know anything about that.
Really?
You have to educate me after we leave here.
You're not a hiker, that's why.
Yes.
My husband's taken up hiking, and so we've gotten really acquainted with blisters.
Really?
Yeah, when you break in those new hiking boots. Mela Plus is great if you've had the blister and you weren't able to get it covered, and now you've got a little bit of an infection going on. It's going to kill whatever's in there. Simplicity would work if you didn't have it, or if it was really, really, really nasty. Mela Plus will handle just about anything, though. So those two, I would say, are interchangeable. Simplicity has some lavender in it. Mela Plus is a high tea tree base. So those two are great. But yeah, blisters are no fun. Moleskin is a great. Avoid them.
Yeah.
Moleskin it's a really thick bandage that you put once it starts to get sore. Before it's an open sore, you put it there, and it just keeps the friction down so that you don't develop them.
So I'm gonna have to check this out for your dad's hands.
Oh, might be a good idea.
Yeah.
So calluses.
Calluses. We were discussing
We're
earlier.
getting how weird to get.
I've been a foot zone therapist for more than 20 years. So for me, a callus on the foot is an indication that something in the body is wrong. If it's in the thyroid area, you've got a thyroid issue. No matter where it is, the callus is probably, unless they've got a pair of shoes that doesn't fit and they insist on wearing them anyway, or they're hiking in new boots.
But most of the time it's not.
I debated on rather telling this story, but years ago, a woman come to me and she had her small toe removed about 3 years previously because of calluses and corns on the side of that toe. And as I worked her feet, the shoulder signal is right there, just below that
small toe.
On that small toe. And as I worked with that area of the foot, even though part of it had been removed, I realized there was a serious shoulder issue going on. So we went after the shoulder from a massage and craniosacral standpoint, cleared the shoulder, and that big callus, that big corn that had reformed after they removed the toe,
it just reformed on the one next to it.
The next toe over, and they were talking about removing that toe. As soon as we cleared up the shoulder signal, the callus went away.
And they didn't take the second toe.
They didn't take the second toe. It wouldn't have done him any good. 3 years later, they'd been taking the third one.
But
the signal would have moved with the foot.
So we have a couple things to cover still. We're going to talk a little bit about cuts, and we're going to talk a little bit about wrinkles, and then we're going to be done.
No, we're not. Unwrinkle my forehead.
So if you want to ask a question, if there's something we haven't covered that isn't wrinkles or cuts that we're about to cover, shoot us a text or a message. It takes a few minutes for those to come in. And so last week I ended it. I asked for comments. I didn't get any. I ended it, and then all the comments came in, and I felt so bad. So if you're going to comment, hurry and do it so that I see it before this is over and done deal. Okay, cut.
Far and away, blue yarrow.
Yep. Yarrow, if you have blue, green, blue is better, but green will work.
But only marginally. So use the green if that's what you have.
Yeah, yep. If you've got the green, don't go out and buy blue.
What do you do with it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like to put it on the end of a Q-tip. Soak the Q-tip with it and then hold it along the cut.
Watch it stitch itself back together.
Use a little butterfly bandage or 4 or 5 or 10 or however many it takes. Pull that little cut together really tightly. Then take your little Q-tips soaked in yarrow and hold it between each little space, because the butterfly bandage gives you space to do that.
Yarrow is absolutely amazing.
I did that on my mother-in-law's face once years ago.
I did on mine right here.
Dr. Cousin said that was the best stitching job he'd ever seen. I love it.
I was looking up and a board fell and hit me right here. Cut a nice V shape right there. And now it was beautiful. And they put it back together with that yarrow. The awesome thing about yarrow is it doesn't just pull the stitch back together and cause it to heal, but it also has everything you need to disinfect. So you're not washing it out with soap and water first. You just have the one round of yarrow.
And you don't need to worry about infection no matter what's in that cut. The yarrow.
It is amazing. I've seen yarrow do some awesome
and
stuff.
I've seen before I got into oils, we used to do it with
yarrow
leaf.
We used to use yarrow plant. We did.
You bet.
We'd get it, in a nice tea to get the oil properties out of it, and it works.
Or even just crush it up if you were in the canyon and crush it up and tape it to the
yarrow. Yarrow's it's a fascinating little plant. So, okay, wrinkles.
Wrinkles. If I could solve wrinkles, I wouldn't look 67 years old, would I?
You look good for 67. Wrinkles, they're one of those things that, there's no magic band-aid. You're not going to spray on a bottle with some oil in it and they're going to go away overnight. They're time.
Somebody said in class yesterday something she was using, and I cannot remember, and now I'm going to have to call her up because I'm going to try it.
The About Face frankincense blend is my favorite for it. The thing with it is again, everything starts on the inside going out. So if I'm working on wrinkles, vitamin E, I'm taking it internally to make sure that my skin has the things that it needs to be elasticy and to rebuild. So
that's the best I can tell you. And I whine about my wrinkles a lot, but I actually remember to do About Face every other day. I don't think that cuts it. I have a cute little picture I love. It's a little woman and Asian, and she's got this wrinkles all over her face and this big smile. And at the side of it's a quote by Mark Twain that said, "Wrinkles mark where smiles have been." So I hope my wrinkles are smile wrinkles and not gripe wrinkles.
Not gripe wrinkles. So, but About Face, and as the lotion is the easiest way.
All I can tell you is that the About Face makes your skin feel so good. So even if it doesn't get rid of the wrinkles,
it's wonderful stuff.
Nice. I get up every morning and use my About Face lotion, and I add more About Face to it every few days.
Every little while.
But then I forget to go back during the day and do it again.
It's because your skin's not dry, so it's not.
Because my skin's not dry like it used to be. I don't run around with the lotion in my purse anymore.
I remember in the morning, so that's my.
Yeah, that tends to be.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it doesn't look like we're getting any comments, so maybe we just covered it all, or maybe they're just reeling with the amount that they've already got. They're like, oh, stop, no more.
They want us to talk more slowly. We're not good at that, either one of us.
So this live's going to end, but if you have questions, you're watching this an hour from now, a week from now, a year from now, shoot us an email on our Facebook page or through our YouTube channel, or send us a thing. We'll do our best to answer it if we know.
Out on a limb and tell one more story.
Oh, I like stories.
Baby me. I thought about it at the time, but I had a woman years ago, pregnant woman, and she had the placenta was pulling away from the side of the uterus. Of course, that's instant dead baby,
Yeah.
But it was just one tiny place right in the middle, a donut pull away, which is very rare.
Very rare.
It's usually the edge. We slathered that little abdomen. Of course, I didn't let her move either or lift anything, but we slathered that abdomen with baby meat every 3 hours for 48 hours. Then we had another ultrasound run, and the placenta was perfectly attached. We kept slathering that belly all the way. She delivered the baby normally at a full 9 months with no problem.
Wow.
No, now it's a one little anecdotal story. Maybe
and it was a tiny little
itself.
spot,
It was bigger than I ever hoped to see again.
Yes,
detaching
placenta is not the.
But it was pretty amazing to watch just the nutrient going in there, heal that. I don't know. It was quite
The body is
something.
amazing.
I was pretty sure we were going to
And
end up
oils are amazing.
with a 29-week preemie done C-section.
Oof, not fun. So shoot us your questions. We love to teach about essential oils. We love to talk about essential oils. They are so amazing. There are so many. I mean, how many years have we been using essential oils?
I don't know, but there were things when we finally
30?
got into oil, even though I'd been herbal for years and homeopathic, there are things that oil did that I couldn't do any other way.
And we still learn things about them after 30 years of learning about them. And the more information that's out there, the more people that are, I've had this experience and sharing it. We have a Facebook group where people can come on. There's no judgment, just I've got this and this going on. Has anybody ever seen this? And it's an amazing community.
That. It teaches me stuff.
There's 51,000 people that follow our Facebook page to date, and they love to comment and go, well, this worked for me, that worked for, this didn't work, and
have you considered?
Yeah, and
amazing.
it is a wonderful resource. So feel free to join us on that group. And
how do they find that group?
It's Butterfly Expressions Essential Oils, and then there's two groups inside of that. There's one that is just anybody, any question, and then there's one that is specific people with their pets, people raising goats and dogs and cats and horses. And there are some oils that dogs and cats do not do well with. I am not the person to ask those questions. I am not an animal person.
It was hard enough keeping your kids alive.
I have goats, and I can tell you anything you want to know about goats. But there's several people in that group that are way smart with essential oils and animals, and they're having experiences on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, whereas me, I have no experience, and I know that, so I'm not the person to ask. But between those two groups, there is so much wisdom out there, and we follow both of those groups and comment as often as possible and throw our 2 cents in there. We're very opinionated. We like to throw our 2 cents in there. Take it for what it's worth. The people in that group are absolutely amazing. So, in fact, probably also the ones that are watching. We love you. You're great. Keep up the good work, and we shall see you in 2 weeks.